There's a sense in the West, a profoundly mistaken sense in the West, that British Empire was an unalloyed good for India. There were a number of positive features of it, and there are positive inheritance of the British Empire, notably the Westminster parliamentary system that the Indians cleaved to. The rudiments of an independent judiciary started under the Brits, the railroads, a few other things. But actually, in economic terms, the Brits were an unalloyed disaster for India. British Empire in India was a project of economic exploitation. It was hugely successful for the Brits. It was catastrophic for the Indians. Over the last 20 or 30 years, economic historians, or historians with an interest in economics, and a number of economists with an interest in history have been trying to map out what the world looked like economically in centuries gone by. And a number of interesting publications have come out of the OECD and other places. They calculate that, as a general proposition, China, over the millennia, contributed about 25% of global output at any given time, with variations, and India anywhere between 18 and 20%, with variations. When the British came to India, India was contributing perhaps 17% to global output. When the British left, India was contributing 2% of global output. That's all one needs to know about the British Empire in India. It fueled the Industrial Revolution in India, but there was no Industrial Revolution in Britain, but there was no Industrial Revolution in India itself. The British saw to that. And the same might be said also of British influence in China, which was linked to British interests in India. When it became difficult for India to finance its trade with China, the great Indian novelist Amitav Ghosh describes how the British encouraged the poppy trade, the heroin trade, in effect, between India and China in order to finance their own purchases of tea from China. So the Indians have very little reason to look back fondly on British Empire, and their generosity towards it is surprising in some ways.